Hello guys, welcome to another video. So today I'll show you the best high-range laptops you can buy in Kenya. To find them, you just need to search shopping best on Google. Then you head over to the first link. From there you click pre-orders, then you head to the high-range laptops. So if you find this video informative, make sure you press the like button and subscribe. First on the list is the MacBook Pro with the M3 chip. So it's pretty hard to go wrong on a MacBook. It has one of the best CPUs, and also their GPUs have improved so much, especially on the latest chip with the M3 chip having a 10-core GPU. So if you compare this M3 chip with the previous generation, it's 30% faster and up to like twice as fast as the first generation M1 MacBook Air. Then if you buy this laptop, you're going to get a very good screen with a resolution of 3024 by 1964 megapixels, which is pretty high. It's actually the highest in this category. Then they also have a new color, which is the space black. You can choose to get the space black, the new space black color, which is much better because you're going to be having like less fingerprints on the device if you're using it regularly, and also it looks just much better. So why should you buy on Shopping Best? The first reason is we are having like most likely the best price. So if you search for a MacBook Pro with the M3 chip, probably, okay, we can just search. So in Kenya, most of them are going for about 290,000 to about 572,000, compared to ours, which is going for only 252,000, which is actually the best price that you can find right now if you are pre-ordering the MacBook Pro M3. So the other benefit is that we are going to sell the latest model. So when you pre-order from Shopping Bus, we're going to search like for the one that's in stock at the factory. So it's going to be like most likely with the most up-to-date features, and if there's any improvement, you're going to get that. So for this laptop, it's also having a better brightness when you compare it to the previous generation. The other one had about 500 nits max brightness, but for this one it's about 600 to 1000 nits. Then for the capacity, if you're using a MacBook Air, it's not 128 GB. For this one it's 512 GB, which is pretty okay for a MacBook, because usually they usually have like a smaller storage capacity for the SSD if you're buying like the base specification. Then with this laptop, you're going to get more ports. It's having a 2.1 HDMI 2.1, which allows you to display on external displays at 4K and at 120 Hz, which is pretty nice. Then for the Wi-Fi 6E, it allows you to have better Wi-Fi connections compared to other devices, even in this price range. And it's also having like 2 Thunderbolts 4 balls, which can be used for charging and transferring data at a higher rate. Then the other advantage of this laptop is that it's having a 1080p megapixel camera, which is much clearer than other front-facing cameras that you might get in other laptops, even if they are having the same resolution. Then The other advantage of this laptop, when you compare it maybe to a MacBook Air M2, is that it's having an SD card reader. So if you have like external storage, you can transfer it inside the MacBook at like relatively easy. And like if you have like some videos you want to like edit, you can put them on the SD card and transfer them here, then transfer them again, and it's going to save you like space. So that's the best laptop you can currently get in Kenya. And just something to note, the MacBook usually doesn't have a very good GPU. Like even for this M3 chip, when you compare its GPU, it's about to the level of NVIDIA 3070, which is not very bad. But if you're buying a laptop majorly for gaming, you might consider other laptops, other gaming laptops. But personally, even if you're a gamer, I think if you get like the MacBook Pro, it will be a good laptop for you if you're playing like games like Fortnite and other like common games like Call of Duty. Because the other thing with MacBooks is that they aren't supporting like a number of games like Apex and other AAA games that are available on other Intel or AMD devices. So the second laptop that you might want to consider, and this one is running an Intel chip, it's having an Intel chip, is the Acer Predator Helios Neo. This is also a good laptop if you do like a benchmark between the MacBook and this laptop. This laptop is going to be much powerful, but honestly, just because of the build quality and like the overall like things that you're getting from the MacBook, I'd say like the MacBook is a better offer. But if you're a gamer, you might want to consider the Predator Helios Neo, because it's having a bigger RAM. You know, for RAMs, many people like to say that MacBooks don't require like a huge number in RAM. But if you're opening like a number of tabs in a MacBook and also playing like games or having like editing software running, you'll notice that the performance slightly reduces. So with this one, it's having 16 GB of RAM, which is upgradable to 32 or even 64 if you change them to 32, which is a lot which is okay if you like to multitask with your laptop. Then the other advantage of this laptop, it's having a 1 terabyte SSD, which is pretty it's okay for like work and if you like storing games. And many people don't consider the storage size, but it's usually like a key factor that you should consider when you're choosing a laptop. So if you look at the benchmarks, you can just look at So for this benchmark, we're going to look at the M3, not the M2. So So if you look at the benchmarks with the base Apple M3 and I don't know why they aren't having like the 8GB version one, but even if you consider that, you'll see that the Intel Core i7 in the Acer Predator Helios is performs better in most aspects, like gaming. It's much better in gaming than the MacBook Pro, and also the CPU. I'm not sure about the CPU, but the general performance, it's much better. The display, the MacBook Pro is very good in the brightness and color accuracy because it's having the HDR display. Then for the battery life, it's even not a competition. Like for the MacBook Pro, you're getting up to 22 hours of battery life, while in the Predator Helios you're going to get about like about 5 hours if you're using it like heavily. Then for the connectivity, the MacBook Pro is much better. Portability, the MacBook Pro is better again. The Helios Neo is it has a better refresh rate. It's coming at 165 Hz versus 120 Hz on the MacBook. Then it has a USB-A port if you're connecting it to maybe an older Gen device. Then even on the CPU, it's much better than the M3 Pro, and it has a bigger battery, but I don't think it has a bigger battery, but the battery usage is also high, so it doesn't even make a lot of sense. Yeah, so you can choose to get that. Also for the price, I'm pretty sure we are having the best price for the Predator Helios. So you see in other e-commerce sites in Kenya, so here it's even going for around 834,000, which is pretty high, even though it's having 2 terabytes of RAM. For us, we're only selling to you at 236, and it's a really good price if you ask me. Yeah, so that's the second one. The third option, the third best gaming laptop that you can buy in Kenya is the old, we can say it's the old M2 because of the pricing. It's only coming at 189,000. It's having 256GB of storage, which is pretty low, and even for this spec, it's much advisable to buy the 512GB one, because like it's the read and write speeds of the SSD are much better. It's like twice as better compared to the 256 one, but for the 512GB one, it's the pricing is so high, so it's much better if you just get the M3 laptop with the 512GB. So you can choose to get the MacBook Air. The good thing about the MacBook Air is that it's light, it has a good price, and for the display it's also very nice, and it has a faster charging rate. I believe it comes with a 47 watt charger, and also the battery, like the battery lasts a lot, around 20 hours if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so that's the third best laptop you can buy in Kenya. Also, I'm pretty sure it's the best price you can buy. Yeah, it's the best price you can buy in Kenya at 189,000. So we can just search. So if you choose to buy the MacBook Air with the M2 chip from Apple Center KE, they'll be selling it to you at about 254,000, about 255,000, while us we're only selling, while you can get the item from Shopping Best at around 189,000, which is a good price. Even if you add the shipping fees, they may be a bit higher, so it's coming at around 200,000 or 190,000. Yeah, so you'll be saving about 50 to 40,000 if you choose to buy from Shopping Best. Yeah, and for us, the other advantage is you're getting it straight from the factory. So like in other Kenyan sellers, in other Kenyan shops, you might be getting a second hand or a used item, or an item that was opened before. For us, we are going to ship from the manufacturer, so it's just a brand new laptop. So that's the third best laptop you can buy in Kenya. The fourth one is the ASUS ROG Zephyrus with Ryzen 9. This is a pretty good laptop. Once again, it has 16 GB of RAM. It has Ryzen 9, which is also a good CPU. Initially, I thought this laptop will be we will put it at the best high-range laptop that you can buy, considering the price and everything. But when you compare it with the Intel, with the Intel 13th generation i7, the Intel one has about 16 cores, while this one has 8 cores. So the performance is much lower, but it's still not bad. And the other thing is that both of them, they are coming with the RTX 4060, which is very nice for gaming. Like you can play games at higher refresh rates about 120 Hz, and also having like 14, you can play them at 1440p at 120 FPS, which is nice. Then the other thing about the RTX 4070, it has DLSS 3, which basically upscales like games, as well as it offers like ray tracing. So if you're playing a game, like the shadows and the reflection of like the general world in the reflection of the games looks much better with the ray tracing. That's what you can see. Then for this laptop, the battery life is about 10 hours. The good thing about AMD laptops is that they don't require as much power as Intel ones. So in terms of battery reliability, it comes second after MacBooks. So that's something you might want to consider if you are choosing to get a laptop. Then with this laptop, they're all having like Wi-Fi 6 apart from the MacBook one, so they're relatively fast when in terms of internet connectivity. And also for this one, I think it has a gigabit Ethernet, which is pretty ensures your device gets like fast internet connection. Then the max brightness of this laptop is same as the one on the Acer Predator Helios. It's coming at 500 nits, which is pretty nice. But majorly the difference between this one and the Intel one is the number of cores. The Intel one is much better. The only difference is that the Acer Predator, it has like a plastic casing, while this one I think it's aluminum, which is much better. Let me confirm. Not sure if it's aluminum, but I think it's aluminum. Usually for like plastic laptops, they might break after some time. That's why I usually like the build quality of MacBooks, because they usually have like good material and also less likely to break and have like a problem with the hinges. Then for the fifth laptop is the ASUS ROG Zephyrus G16, which is also coming with the Core i7. This is a nice laptop. It has a good pricing. It comes at around 182,000. In terms of power, it's much less when you compare it to the Predator Helios Neo with the i7 13700HX, while this one is 13620H. It's still powerful, but it has less cores. It's a 10 core. It has 10 cores of CPU, and the other one has 18 cores, which makes it faster. Then for this one, it has HDMI 2.0, which means you can either go for when you're connecting an external display, you can choose to either display at 4K or 120 Hz. You can't have like the two together. Then I'm pretty sure it has like less ports when you compare it to the Predator Helios laptop. Yeah, then the front-facing camera is much lesser when you compare it to other laptops, because the other ones are coming at 1080p, while this one is it still has 720p. But it's also a good laptop at a good price. That's why it's the fifth in this high-range category. So because of time, I'll try to maybe make the video a bit shorter. For the sixth laptop, it would be it's the MacBook Pro M3 with 14 cores. So this one is probably the most powerful laptop here, but it's not at the top because like the pricing, when you consider the pricing and the performance, like it's too costly. It's a bit too costly, but if you want to get like the most powerful machine that you can buy at the moment, it's probably at the moment in Kenya, it's probably going to be the MacBook Pro M3 with 14 GPU cores and 512 GB SSD. You can choose to get maybe a 1 terabyte version. Just contact Shopping Links via the chat section and maybe let them know like the specific model that you want, and you'll be able to help. So even for this one, it has 120 Hz screen refresh rate, which is pretty good. And for the battery life, it's a bit lower when you compare it to the M3, to the base M3 laptop. It comes at 18 hours, while the other one had about 22 hours of battery life. Okay, so that's the sixth best laptop you can buy in Kenya. Then for the last one, but not the least one, it's the MacBook Air M2, but with a higher storage capacity. So the previous M2 that I mentioned had 128 gigabytes, but this one has 512 gigabytes, which is pretty nice, because like the read and write speeds are much higher when you compare it to the other one. But the issue is like it's going for about 261,000, which is almost the same price as the M3. So it will be much better if you just get the M3 instead of this one. But if you like prefer the Air, you want a laptop without a fan, you can choose to get the MacBook Air M2 with 512 gigabytes. But even if you want like a higher storage capacity, you can just contact shopping best via the chat section and let them know, and I'm sure they'll be able to help you get the model that you want. So that's all for today. Maybe just a quick recap. If you want to get these laptops, just visit shopping best, then go to the pre-order section, and you will be able to find them, and probably it's going to be sold at the best price that you can find in Kenya. So that's all for today. If you want to, make sure you press the like button and you subscribe so that you don't miss the next video, which is going to be the best mid-range laptops that you can buy in Kenya. And for that, I'm pretty sure you'll be interested, because we're going to offer like actually the best laptops that you can find. So that's all for today, and have a nice day.